So students, let us see this problem. It is also Eamcet previous year problem. You see, let us first of all read this problem. In an equilateral triangular prism, the angle of minimum deviation for a certain wavelength is 40 degrees. The corresponding angle of incidence is how much is asking. So let us take equilateral triangle prism. Equilateral triangle prism means all sides are equal, so the angles are also equal, 60 degrees. We know already that one. So let us take the equilateral triangle like this. This is a 60 degrees. That means the angle of the prism is 60 degrees, which will be indicated by A. A is equal to 60 degrees. Okay. And also deviation of the certain wavelength is 40. Certain wavelength light, if it falls on this prism, so in this direction let it be false. This is a normal, let it take normal. This angle is, let it be incident angle I. Okay, what is asking? I is asking the corresponding angle of incidence I is equal to how much is asking. Okay, I is how much is asking. Here is telling the minimum deviation. Whenever it is minimum deviation, when it is a minimum deviation, let it be take the original path. Actually, if there is no prism, this ray is to be gone in this direction. Okay, because of this prism in the middle, then it will take a deviation like this. So let it take deviation in this way. This is emergent ray, let it be emergent ray. This one is let it be. So this is a normal here at this point. So this is a emergent ray. This is a the angle, emergent angle R. This is so at minimum deviation. This is called minimum deviation. This is called minimum deviation. At minimum deviation, the refracted ray, this one is parallel to the base of the prism, and also the angle I and R both are equal. So here you see in the prism there is a derivation, that is the angle of the prism A plus delta is equal to the incident angle and refracted angle I plus R. So he is mentioned here minimum deviation point. Minimum deviation point, at minimum deviation, I is equal to R and delta is equal to delta minimum. So now substitute these values in this formula. Then I plus I is equal to A plus delta minimum. That implies I is equal to A plus delta minimum by 2. So half of the sum of refracted the angle of the prism and minimum deviation. Okay, now substitute these values in this minimum deviation. Angle of minimum deviation, certain wavelength is 40 degrees is given. So here you see delta minimum is how much is given? 40 degrees. So you should use this formula directly, but how it comes in this way it comes. Okay, now substitute these values. Then I of angle of incidence I is equal to A means 60 plus delta minimum means 40 degrees by 2, that is equal to 100 by 2, that will be equal to 50 degrees. So the angle of incidence which is asking in this problem, that is 50 degrees. So that means the option D is correct for this problem. Okay, thank you.